Okay, pal.
Hi guys, Andy N, spoken label, back in the house on a Sunday lunchtime. This is a busy day today. It's fucking ridiculous. And I've got a beep word coming up ready now. But yeah, I've got not one, not two, but three podcasts today. First one with this gentleman I've got with me today is a dear friend of mine and Amanda's. And I'm not quite sure yet how I shall be introducing him, because you may know him as Keith's brother on stage, but he's also known, his real name is obviously Mark. So, and he was on last year with us. He's brilliant. We love Mark. So, and you might have noticed if you're watching the video side of things, he's in his back garden. So that's because it's the quietest part of your house, mate, isn't it? You just told me then.
Yeah, that's true.
So Mark was on with us last year, and I wanted to catch up with him today because I know he's got a few bits and pieces on the go. So obviously, Mark, I'll be calling you Keith's brother for the rest of the session if I remember.
Okay.
But obviously, mate, first of all, for people who don't know you, mate, give us a quick introduction to yourself and where the project Keith's brother came from originally.
Okay, well, my name's Mark, and I am a writer, I would say. I'm quite comfortable saying that now. I probably wouldn't have said that a while ago. But I write short stories as a rule. I've been doing that for around about 10 years now. I also read at various open mic spoken word events around Manchester and Liverpool mainly. A couple in Scotland I've been doing over the last 12 months or so. And in the past 6 months, I would say, I've started a new thing where I've been doing what I would probably call stories to music. They're not poems. Thank God it's not rap. Blimey. It's the thought of me doing any sort of thing like that. So I would say the stories to music, and they've been released on Camp on an EP. And they've seemed to be okay. I'm quite pleased with them. And they get a little bit of response when I do them. I do these live as well. I play the backing track and I do the vocal live over the top of that.
I didn't know you've been doing that one as well, so it wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah, well, obviously, people wondering about your Bandcamp page. Your debut EP came out last July now, did it? Called The Swimmer. So,
yes.
Tell us about what made you want to do it with music, and just for people, in case people didn't know in the first place. I know you did. You play bass in a band or something, didn't you? Some years ago. Yeah,
I did. I was bass player in a band in the 90s, a band called Proud Mary. I was the bass player, and that lasted for about 2 years. Proud Mary went on to good things, really. They got an album released, produced by a bloke from Burnage called Noel Gallagher, I think his name is.
Oh yeah, so some nobody or something, is there? Yeah.
Yeah, but they did all right, and they're still going now. They never officially told me I'd left. They just got another bass player and they started gigging, so I might still be in the band at some point. They've never actually sat me down and said you're out, but the fact that they got someone else in was pretty much sealed the deal, really. So I have very, very minor musical knowledge, a little bit. I can play the odd thing. I was 99% of the open mic spoken word type stuff nights that I go to. Most of them are all poets. Most of the people who perform are poets. So it was I tried in my thing of trying to fit in, as I normally do. I tried writing some poetry, and it didn't really work. It's something I wasn't able to do it. And I showed it to my daughter, and Bethany said, they're more like lyrics, Dad. That was a thing, what I'd wrote. Because what I did was I took a couple of short stories that I was working on, and I tried to condense them and put them a little bit more punchy and structured a little bit. And like Bethany said, they were more like lyrics. So what I did was I read them out loud, because it was my intention to read them at open mic stuff. And I just put a drum beat behind them, added some strings here and there, and seemed to come out all right. It felt quite a natural thing to do. The music, don't want to sound a bit smug or anything, the music came quite naturally, quite not easily, but it came quite well with the words, sort of thing. So yeah, that's probably the main thing in the last 12 months since we last spoke that I've been doing differently, I would say.
Yeah, it's great EP, because I know we were talking about this when we spoke last year, and I love this EP. I played it a good number of times. I think you did a really, really good job with this.
Well, you know your music, Andy, so of course you would.
Oh well, that's debatable. I'm the hit and hope brigade, basically, mate. Right? So, well, yeah, no, seriously, no, it was great. It's really, really great stuff. Now,
good.
What Ruth told me about Ruth O'Reilly from All FM was, which I really want to talk to you about today, particularly was as well, is I know you've been doing some gigs, like you said already a minute ago, over in Scotland, up Glasgow way.
Yeah.
What made you want to go up to Scotland then to do some gigs around there?
Okay, well, there was when was lockdown? Was it 2019?
2020.
Right, so I got quite poorly. I was one of the COVID people who got really ill, laid up in bed for months. And during that time, I saw a what's it called when people put out a request for work? Submissions call.
Call out. Yeah.
So there was something I seen on Twitter from a publisher called The Word, THIWURD. They were based in Glasgow. They put out a submissions request. So I contacted the guy who's behind it all, Alan, and he just said, we need, what was the basis, how many words, what sort of thing he was after. And I wrote a piece about a record that I won on the radio when I was in my teens. It's called Party Line by the Stockholm Monsters. I wrote a little piece about that, and he liked it and he published it. And in the meantime, while the book was coming out, I bought a couple of back issues of The Word, and I was absolutely blown away. It's like a short story collection, all about 2,000 words, maybe less, some of them. But it just seems a really original style of writers that they use. And I would have liked in the magazine to a little bit like buying an album.
Yeah.
The cover art is very unique. Would be quite striking. The whole way it's packaged. The Word is not just a publisher who puts books out. They do live events. They do regular blogs about stuff. It's quite a good thing to get something published in The Word without wanting to sound like an idiot. You've done quite well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you completely, man. No, it's fair play, man. Fair play. So then it one thing led to another, then, really, I guess, didn't it, for yourself?
Yeah. Well, I got asked to go up and when they did a live event, and it's not like a spoken word night. They have contributors reading some of the pieces out or extracts from the pieces on. So I did the first one there, and there was 200 people. They do writing groups as well at The Word, and it's
yeah. Oh, so well done.
Yeah, it's and the night they have music on, different sort of performers, and the last one that I did in November last year, it was at a place called the Civic House. They had a band on who were really good. They had a guy, Lewis Gordon, whose day job is the bass player out of Deacon Blue. He was excellent performing some of his solo stuff. At the next one, that's next Friday, we've got someone at a Teenage Fan Club doing some of the solo stuff. They've got some video showing, like they're showing a short series of short films as part of the night.
Oh, excellent!
And I'll be doing my stories to music thing again.
Brilliant.
It's dead responsive. I mean, the guy, I'm friends with the guy who runs it, Alan. We stay in contact regular, ever since we've sort of,
of course,
that I've been in contact regarding the pieces that I wrote and stuff. And he jokingly calls me the King of Glasgow. Now, I know it's a bit of a Mickey take name, but I'm having it anyway.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, mate. Mr. Glasgow. I'll call you Mr. Glasgow then, definitely, right? Or it's His Lordship Glasgow, yeah.
I'd call it my second home. I just love the city, and the people are so responsive to what I do there. It's a real pleasure to be asked and an honour to be asked to perform there, and a thoroughly enjoyable experience to do it, to go up and to perform to so many people who like what you do.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what you want, really. I'm always a believer, and if you can do it, do it. Definitely, fair play to that. Have you not been tempted to go to? You've not been tempted to put your name down for the Fringe Festival? You have to up in Edinburgh, only just a bit further up.
I wouldn't know where to start on that, if I'm being honest. I don't know.
I could refer to a few people, but I'm no help at that one.
I don't know. I've heard of a few people who've done that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would have a go, but I don't know if Is it supposed to be funny stuff? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like comedy in it. I'm not really comedy. Don't think. Not intentionally, anyway.
A bit like me there, basically.
Yeah.
Definitely foot in mouth disease more than
We've got
natural
a lot
straight
of comedy.
comedy. Yeah.
We can be funny, but we don't mean to be.
Yeah, that's a buddy show. So certainly, like you ever see me, people see me on stage at Speak Easy. People always go on about things when I've dropped bricks and stuff, which is usually the usual case of me. Stuff my fucking life. So yeah, no, fair play. Good luck, man. Careful about that. So, have you any ideas where you want your creativity to go next? Then I know you've been writing loads of stuff, haven't you? Certainly.
Yeah, I mean, I've still been writing short stories and putting them on my website. I do that regular.
Yeah, been reading them before, and the great stuff. Always great stuff.
Yeah, so I still do that. I would probably like to do a few more scripts. I've done a couple that have been made into pod plays.
Yeah.
Do the Mank Made Productions thing. That's something I really got a lot out of. And I did one I think that was last October time. There was a pod play called The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Oh, tell us about that then. Go on then, because I know you've told me about that before, actually. But certainly, tell us about that then.
It was about a 30-minute play, pod plays, obviously, plays that are made into podcasts. And it's the story of a girl who takes a call on she's working on shift as a Samaritan's listener. And she takes a call that is quite sort of changes her view of things a little bit. It's my cat's just come past. It's just there now.
I can't.
It's just seeing what's going on. So it's a story. A Samaritan's listener who gets a call that's quite a strong, deep one. She sort of thinks she knows who it is, and that's revealed who it is later on. The person is quite well known to everybody, but she doesn't know it at the time. Sort of celeb status a little bit, but she's not aware of that. And it came out really well. The actors were fantastic in that. I was so pleased with it. I thought that was probably the script seemed all right as well. I thought it was quite good. A few twists in it, a little bit of funniness, a little bit of darkness, a bit of everything, So it seems to be quite good, I thought. I would say that though, wouldn't I?
Well, you always say, don't we? We're always so close to our own work.
I would say that.
We either hate it or we love it. Or on something like a podcast level, it's always brilliant. Even if you've got thinking afterwards, you go, fair play. Do you think you do some more of them, these sort of pod plays?
Yeah. I'd like to, I think it's quite a good. What Paul does is he gives you get a really good opportunity. I mean, for someone like myself who's starting out doing something like this, what are your options? You try and sell them to some production company or send them to the BBC, and you never hear anything back. I don't know. Paul has just been dead responsive, and it's a bit DIY the way they put it together. It's done on Zoom a lot of the time and stuff, but it's such a brilliant way of getting your stuff out there and practicing to write scripts, which is a different thing to writing short stories or poems or anything, So good.
No,
really good.
I agree. Like I've heard one of them yours done that. And I thought it was brilliant. It really sounded professionally done, and it's a good show, really. And if you're using Zoom correctly, what you can actually just mess around with afterwards and make it sound really, really good. That was excellent. Good stuff, man, with it. So, do you think you'll do another EP on Bandcamp? Or you're not sure on that yet?
No, I'd like to. I think as a creative person. Sorry, Andy. I do apologise. I'm bidding for something on eBay, and I've just had a message come through saying someone else has put a bid in, and it's quite important because it's something I need for Scotland. So I'm just gonna have to up my bid. Here.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
He's doing, doesn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
Fine,
I would like to. I think from as a creative point of view, just on a review bid. I'm just going to put a bit more up.
Oh, it's a good job I like you. A good job I like you, Mark.
Done. Done. I can tell you what it is. What I'm bidding on. It's a melodica.
Oh.
Now the reason I need the melodica is because when I do my live music stuff, I play the melodica live.
Oh.
That's part of me. So I need one for Scotland next week. So I've got to do it. So anyway, I think as a creative point of view, we all, you, I, everyone who does it, I think we crave a response.
Yeah.
We crave a reaction. Whether that reaction is someone saying, that's a load of rubbish, it doesn't matter. It's a reaction. I wrote a piece called The 197, and I did it before I put music to it. I sent it to a couple of friends, associates, whatever. And one of my friends rang me up and said, it's rubbish, that. I don't like the words you're using it. I don't like the way you've done it. It's like this football thing and all that lot. And I said, Steve, you've rang me up to tell me that's good enough. That's a reaction. That's all I wanted. So I didn't mind that he didn't like it. I'm not like, yeah, I don't know how you are. We all want some sort of response, I think, because of what we're putting out. We're putting ourselves out there, bearing our soul. And I would equate it to the same as if you were cooking somebody a meal, if you were cutting somebody's grass, if you were doing something, decorating someone's front room. Your first reaction is to say, come and have a look at this, what I've done. Have a look at this, what I've made. And it's a natural human reaction to get, but it doesn't have to be positive, but that's what you want, So I think from the music point of view, that's the most response I've had in any of my writing or anything. So especially when I've done it live, and I play the backing track and I play the music over the top, that's people will come up to you and stop you and say stuff. Whether it's most of the time it's nice, thankfully, but so I would love to do another EP. I mean, I've done in the last month, I've put another track on my existing EP. I've done another one, and I'm working on one now. So,
oh yes, you have as well, haven't you? Yes, I just sort of noticed that. Yeah, no, certainly. Oh, excellent. Yeah, no, yeah, almost dead. Yeah, of course.
Sneaks it out under the radar.
Hush release, definitely. Yeah. No, good one, good man. So, no, excellent, mate. What we'll do, we'll wrap up this point anyway. So I want to give you time to do a bit of reading for us today, anyway. So, So obviously, Mark, give us a hard sell. Where's your Bandcamp page, and if people want to track it down?
Okay, I think the best place to get on it is off my website, which is keithsbrother.com. There's links on the all over that to it on there. Bandcamp, for those people who don't know, is like a music streaming platform, a little bit like Spotify or Apple Music or something like that. But it's quite artist friendly as far as putting your artwork on there and uploading your files and stuff. And plus with Bandcamp, if anybody does want to pay for you doing it, you get the majority of out of your pound that somebody might pay, you get the majority of that, whereas on Spotify and all these others you don't. So, and it's quite accessible. You can download the files and stuff like that. So, perfect. Through my website, I would say, Andy, that's probably the best way.
Yeah, it's got all your links in there, your bits of writing and stuff like that. And where you had that, I noticed I was reading before about your story, Murphy's Law, which is a 107-word story as well.
Oh yeah, did you like that one?
I thought it was brilliant. That but always
about the cat.
Yeah, it's a great story. Let me ask you a quick question before we finish up on this one. Obviously, we're going all kinds of tangents, but I know what we're like by now, us too.
Yeah, I know. But stay here all day, me and you.
Oh God, yeah. Steve that runs Speakeasy, obviously, he writes 40-word short stories, and he's got me able to go with doing some of these recently.
All right.
Yeah, and they're impossible to write. You've got to get it dead right. They're really tricky. If people are interested on some like 107-word short stories, because that's bloody precise as well.
Yeah.
Do you find they're really, really tricky to try and get them on that dead sort of number, aren't they?
Yeah, it's quite a good discipline to do. I mean, that was through the Word, the Scottish magazine. They did because I've done quite a few online events with them, and one of them was the 107-word story, which is obviously what is it like a minute? It's less than a minute, probably, isn't it?
I think it's about 45 seconds, probably. Yeah, so it's about no more than a minute anyway. That's for sure. Yeah,
I think the way I would say the way I approached him. I wrote a little scene. I mean, it's like a film scene in your head. That's the way I write, basically. Yeah. It's all about images, really. And then you just write it down and then go back and count. If you've got some sort of basis of an idea there, and go back and just take out. You just cut as much out until you get down to somewhere near. If you've got that strict word count. But it also, I mean, have you been to writing groups, Andy? You must have been involved in writing.
I've done loads. I've ran loads and been to loads. Yeah, so I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, there was one. I was in one called Paperback Writers in Lee. It was brilliant. It was really good. And they had a saying there called "Killing Your Babies." And what you did, so basically, you write something, be dead proud of it, read it out to everyone, and she'd come back to you and then she'd say, "Right, you need to cut 200 words out of that," and you'd be like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
It's you're getting rid of something you've created. Is basically the term. I know it's a bit of a crude analogy, but it's quite a good one. I mean, the brevity is the big thing when you're writing in it. You know, people like James Joyce could write 20 words and they would have a whole film in 20 words there. You know, that's what good writers do. So it's a good discipline to do that, I think. Good practice, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'll have a go. I'll try a 107 word story next. I managed to master the 40 word one. Let's try 107 definitely next, mate.
Okay.
Listen, mate, we'll wrap up this point anyway, buddy. I want to give you a chance to read a bit of reading for us in the second half, but brilliant stuff, mate. See you all in 2 shakes of the dice, guys. Hang around because I love Mark. I love his work.